The shoes always ended up in the vacuum cleaner. Like those shoes
100%,
withstood
100%.
nothing.
Or the dog's mouth.
Yeah, that was gone.
And welcome back. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast for people who would rather cut their Barbie's hair than waste a birthday present on a Ken.
100%.
Yes. I would rather just get a Barbie and then use one of my like lower tier Barbies, cut her hair, turn her into a Ken. On that note, I want to round out the panel. Our panelist today is a host of Crooked's What a Day podcast, an MSNBC political analyst, and an opinion writer for The Griot. She's here to talk about Barbie because she would risk it all for a chance to live in the Barbie dream house.
But that's not wrong.
Juanita Tolliver, welcome to Hysteria.
Thanks for having me again. I guess y'all like me. I'm doing my second show with y'all. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's 100%. I knew from the moment I did What a Day with you. I was like, yep.
100%.
We're doing this. We've been talking about having you on this episode for a very long time. I don't want to speak for everybody here when I confess the first time I heard the news that Greta Gerwig was directing a movie about Barbie, as in the toy, that I was like,
Yeah, suspicious.
Who is this?
What are we doing?
Who is this for?
Yeah.
What's it about?
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
Do we need this? But then I thought about it, and men have so many movies about their goddamn toys from when they were little kids. They've got G.I. Joe movies. They've got Spider-Man
Transformers.
They've got Transformers. They've got Battleship movies.
Yes.
They've got multiple Jumanji movies.
Yeah.
Like, we should get a adult version of a movie that's about something we used to play with when we were little girls or, little femmes, whatever.
Little people.
Little people who enjoyed playing with dolls. So, it's our turn. It's our turn for a movie about toys. And the first time I started thinking, wait, is this movie actually going to whip ass? Was when shots from the film started hitting social media last summer.
I feel like I had the opposite reaction. I was like, what is this? What's happening?
Same. Juanita, I was like, this is definitely not going to be for me. But I became overly excited when they dropped the teaser where the Indigo Girls are participating in this whole thing and Closer to Fine is on the soundtrack. And I was like, hold up, this might be for me.
There might be something here.
And then there's a Birkenstock. I was like, this is definitely for me.
I immediately was like, yes. It was like I think it was like the design of their rollerblades when they were doing the scene where they were rollerblading down the Venice Beach boardwalk. It tapped into this vein in my nostalgic memory where I was like, I want that outfit. I want those rollerblades. I want that life. And Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling looked perfect. Margot Robbie was like, she did not have to go that hard.
Smoking.
And she did. And as the film's release date has approached, you guys, you were a little bit more difficult to win over. I was like, holy shit. The marketing on this film cannot miss.
Nope.
It's so good. And it somehow managed to take Barbie from this kind of chuggy relic of the last 30 years of the 20th century and turn her into this fresh pop culture icon.
Yes.
Suddenly she was cool again. It's like Shania Twain getting cool. Barbie's cool.
Yes.
Now the film's release is imminent. The studio and distributors have been pretty tight about reviews are starting to come out. But before this, they've been keeping a pretty tight lid on it, so we haven't seen it yet. So instead of talking about the film, we're going to talk about what Barbie, the doll, has meant to us and whether or not she has a place in current culture. Juanita, do you remember your first Barbie? Tell me about your first Barbie.
Gosh, I feel like my first Barbie came with a lot of accessories. My first Barbie was definitely, a black Barbie because my parents wouldn't have it any other way. I had the Barbie dream house, the Barbie dream boat, the Barbie jacuzzi with the pump on the side.
Yep.
Yes!
Had that.
I feel like it seamlessly entered my life because I'm one of 4 girls. So my older sister had Barbie before me. My younger sisters had even better Barbie toys. One had the Barbie Jeep that she would drive around like as a toddler. So she had an an upgrade, and the Barbie Dreamboat that made milkshakes. So throughout me and my sisters, we had a full set. And you know what we would do? We would play this game called Doctors, Dentist, and Babysitter, which I feel like represents a couple of things. One, the levels of different career paths we could have with the change of an outfit, right? Like I could go from surgeon to dentist to babysitter, whatever. But also it was just like possibility. Like I just appreciated that in terms of my imagination with like playing with this doll with my sisters, taking up a ridiculous amount of space in the garage with all of our Barbie toys and accessories. Like it was just a vibe. It was a reality shifting thing for us growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, where, you know, there were some pretty explicit gender norms communicated to us day in and day out. But Barbie kind of opened that up for us through Doctors, Dentists, and Babysitter.
Alyssa, do you have similarly warm memories of your first Barbie?
Oh, yes. And like, remember, so I'm kind of like more of a pioneer here because I'm like 10 years older than you guys. So my favorite Barbie was Peaches and Cream Barbie. She came with a ball gown. Here was the thing. I was never like a girly girl. I was always a little bit more of a tomboy. So to me, it was like Barbie. I don't know, Barbie. I was just like, what are these clothes about? What are high heels? But mostly I loved doing their hair. And once my sister came into the picture, she's 4 years younger than me. Hi, Moosey. She knows this. But like I used to tell my mom to get her Barbies, and I would get her Barbies for her birthday and Christmas just so then I could cut their hair.
Oh, the plan.
I mean, it was like, and we had like these we had these Hello Kitty scissors that couldn't do much damage except to a Barbie's hair. And so to me, it was just like, but we had the Barbie pool. We had the Barbie pool, the Barbie jacuzzi that you could make the bubbles with. But I mean, to me, it was just like the best time. Like I couldn't have enough Barbie outfits. The shoes always ended up in the vacuum cleaner. Like those shoes
100%,
withstood
100%.
nothing.
Or the dog's mouth.
Yeah, that was gone.
Did anybody get a Barbie shoe stuck in their nostril?
No, Erin.
I think you're alone on that, friend.
To you? What?
I didn't, but
Okay.
I had to pull one out of my sister's nostril one time. She was a little bit more of the chaos Muppet in our family.
I love that.
Yeah, but no, the shoes did get everywhere. Alyssa, continue. Sorry.
No, that was it. I loved, to this day, it's like I love watching, you know, red carpets, even though the thought of ever being on a red carpet gives me diarrhea. You know what I mean? Like it is, but it all started with Barbie. She said
she gets anxiety-induced irritable bowel syndrome, y'all.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I remember my first Barbie was a moment of conflict in my family, and that's because I didn't have any awareness of like what kind of parent my mom was trying to be to me compared to other parents until this moment. So my grandparents bought me a Barbie.
Oh.
But over my mom's wishes. My mom did not want me to have a Barbie until I was 5 because she was like trying to like have me have good, you know, body image or whatever. But like, I don't know. At no point in my childhood did I look at a Barbie and say, why don't I have huge boobs that stick straight
but
out?
Actually I did. So we can get into that in a little while. We can get into that.
Yeah. We'll totally get into it because I think that's like one of the main issues. My mom didn't want that for me because it did happen for a lot of little girls, but it didn't happen to me. So my grandparents got me this like very simple Barbie. You know how like there were the different size boxes they would come in?
Yeah.
You know, like
They're
very
like the double
skinny
wide.
box.
Yep.
I remember it being like $5.99 at the Ben Franklin in my town, the like ones in the skinny boxes, and then the bigger ones were like $15.99. But it was like a skinny box Barbie. She wasn't wearing like an elaborate outfit or anything like that. It was just a plain blonde Barbie. And my grandparents gave her to me, and my mom took it and put it up. And she was like, "You can't have this till you're 5." And I was like, "Yeah." And now as a parent, I'm like, I would be furious if there was a thing that I had told the grandparents that my kid can't have and they did it anyway. I would be like so mad. But it was my mom's parents, and she was kind of just like, Okay. But yeah, I remember. And then, once I turned 5, my sister was born when I was like 5.5. And my sister was immediately on Barbies. She got so much more than I had because she was the baby of the family.
I was saying, I'm getting some sibling energy here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, one time for my birthday, I love my sister dearly. We've never had like a fight that has caused a rift. We've never had like sibling drama to the extent that most other sets of girl siblings have. But I do remember still, I had a birthday and I really wanted a happy birthday Barbie. And my grandparents showed up and that was my birthday present. But my sister was like 2 at the time and she started crying. And then they went to their car and they had also bought her a happy birthday Barbie.
What?
Yeah.
My feelings are hurt for you.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. My sister, interestingly enough, so we grew up in a town that was like very white, rural Wisconsin, right? But my sister loved black dolls. She only wanted like black Barbie dolls.
Not mad.
So she got,
come on.
Yeah. She had black baby dolls, black Barbies. She had like all of her Barbies were like black Barbies. So she got the black happy birthday Barbie and I had the white happy birthday Barbie. And my mom was like, you can't give the little one a present on her sister's birthday. And it was like this moment of like contention. But then Mary and I, my sister's name is Mary and I would like play with our matching happy birthday Barbies together and pretend they were like,
that's nice.
Yeah. It ended up being like fun, but on the actual day it was like drama.
There's bullshit.
Like drama surrounding Barbies. So yeah, that was like, I think my favorite Barbie was like Western fun Barbie. They had a bunch of like cowboy themed Barbies.
Yes, I remember that.
It was like,
because that's when Skipper really got into the action.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It was, so Juanita, I want to like pivot to the body image issue.
Oh,
because
100%.
So how did Barbie make you feel bad about yourself ever?
I mean, I feel like it was 2 layers. So the first layer was the straight hair, because I'm a curly girl, but up until 9th grade, I was straightening my hair. I would not wear my curls at all. And my mother hated it. And I absolutely pinpoint this back to Barbie because she had her long flowing, little weave situation going, which we know being fed European beauty standards, like my little curly self was like, oh, I want that. So I would literally straighten my hair up until like 14. And then with the body image came, I feel like out of all my sisters, I have the smallest cup size. Like, I feel like our listeners are learning a lot about me right now. But like, as a member of the itty bitty committee, I was just like, wait a second. I feel left out. And so as it manifested not only in seeing Barbie's figure, but also as my sisters, two of whom are younger than me, would get bigger sizes than me, I was feeling some kind of way, So I feel like that was absolutely something that came from having that Barbie.
So do you think that those feelings, like, how did you overcome them? Like, or have you overcome them?
Of course, as an adult, I'm probably the only one who can easily wear a tube top and have no problems. So it's like I recognize the benefits now, but also growing into myself and just accepting myself. And that's a lifelong journey. So, but I think getting into high school and college, and of course, you just go through all this awkwardness. Y'all, I was an ugly duckling till probably 11th grade. So
I do not believe you.
Everybody said that, but I know. Okay,
I don't
let me
believe
just
you.
Let me paint a picture.
I'll tell you, similar.
Okay, so here's my picture. I was the kid who wanted the double striped zebra glasses with the monochromatic hunter green outfits. Like, go check the yearbooks. It's a mess.
See, and Juanita, I just dressed like Eddie Vedder most of my middle school and high school career. So just do with that what you will.
Bless.
Oh my God. Okay, what about Ken? Like, Alyssa, what was your
Ken had no
relationship
role
with-
in my life.
Yes.
Ken had no role in my life. I had no Ken. I wasn't aware he existed. I was just Barbie and her friends. That is all.
Into
like,
it.
what was even the point of Ken? He didn't have hair.
Oh yeah, that's...
It was like plastic.
Wave.
It was like
yes.
Lego hair. It was like Lego hair. And so what did I need with him? Barbie didn't need a man. Not in my world.
Period. Independent women.
Juanita, how about you? Did you have Kens in your house?
I had one Ken, and here's where I didn't realize what I was doing, but another item we had was the Barbie dream bed, and it had like this globe in the middle, and it had like the full
canopy
coming down. Yes. So I put Barbie and Ken in this dream bed together, and my parents saw it in my room, and they're like, what's happening? What's Ken doing in the bed? I was like, duh, they're sleeping. Like, what else would they be doing? And my parents were like, oh, you sweet child.
They're like, Ken's got to stay with one leg on the floor.
Right. Ken ain't got nowhere else to go, so like whatever. So I didn't even look at it as a relationship between Barbie and Ken. They were just homies. Like, like he just existed. He didn't really play any romantic role in my Barbie's life.
I mean, that's a lot of American marriages, if we're being honest.
I'm gagged. Gagged.
I was only allowed like one or two Kens at a time, which is like weird. My parents had this weird. They had like weird prudishness. I wanted like to create a community of my Barbies, and the community involved Kens and Barbies, but they were like, I think they thought too many Kens in my Barbie population would be like too many men in a human population, which is like they're going to cause wars. There's going to be street violence.
You just wanted enough to have a proper hoedown in rural Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Do-si-do.
Exactly. Do you guys remember the pregnant Barbie? Well, it was
No.
Okay.
You guys,
so I think
I was probably in college by then.
Okay. So it was like the early 90s. Yeah, it was Midge, and she had a plastic belly.
Oh, yes.
And there was like a fetus inside of it. It was a baby, but it looked like a fetus.
Oh, and it was
This
ultimately
is
discontinued
creepy.
because Walmart said it complained that the toy promoted teen pregnancy. Thank you, thesun.com.
I mean, look, I'm just going to say that the visual of imagining a full baby inside your body and like looking, that's not going to encourage anybody to be pregnant.
Pregnant Barbie, just for the record, came out in 2002. So I wasn't in college. I was well out of college.
Oh, well, maybe there was like a different, maybe I'm thinking about Midge and Alan. Anyway, there was
This
like a Midge
definitely
and Alan.
says Midge. Yeah, Midge Barbie.
Yeah.
The original Midge got pregnant in 2002.
Isn't Midge like a slur?
It's my cat.
Shouldn't that not be? Yeah.
Oh, no! It's okay. It's short for Miriam.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Do you guys remember Earring Magic Ken?
No.
No.
Okay. This is another
Checking him
controversial
out.
Barbie.
I'm like-
Another controversial Barbie. In, I want to say the early 90s, there was an Earring Magic Barbie that came up. And actually, Margot Robbie kind of did an homage to Earring Magic Barbie's look on the red carpet when she was promoting the Barbie movie before the SAG strike, obviously. And the Ken doll was wearing, like, I would say an outfit that I would describe as extremely gay.
1992. 1992 is when Earring Magic Ken came out.
Purple fishnet, purple vest.
Purple fishnet vest. Yep. He is celebrating pride, and he's having a great time doing it. But this was the early 90s, and so that was like a very marginalized group still. And so it was there were a lot of conservative groups that were like, this Ken is clearly gay, and people were like, kids don't know it. Like, kids don't know what. Yeah, they don't know. They're just playing with the dolls and cool outfits. And I'm going to say that Ken's outfit is way more interesting than the average Ken outfit.
100%. And just for the purposes of our conversation, he is now referred to as alternative lifestyle Ken.
Oh, because that's an option. That's a choice.
Juanita, you mentioned you were playing doctors, dentists, and babysitters, and that Barbie like kind of instilled in you and your sisters this idea that girls and women can do things. And Margot Robbie actually in her Vogue cover when she was promoting the Barbie movie said something similar. Like, Barbie came out when women couldn't get their own credit cards, and Barbie Yeah, and Barbie's going to space. Barbie's doing all these things. Do you think that girls growing up seeing that Barbie could be all these things internalize the idea that they could also be more than what society was allowing them to be?
I mean, especially if you were coming up in the 90s, yeah, anything was possible, right? Like, I think Barbie today represents something very different than when I was introduced to her, because I literally remember the wardrobe of a lab coat paired with the astronaut's uniform, paired with, you know, just like a bikini, because of course we have range and we can be that beach babe too, right? Like, and it was just like, choose your own adventure, which is something I loved. Like in Tennessee, I knew I was different. Everybody reminded me constantly I was different. I didn't care. And knowing that I could literally choose my own life path is something that helped me transition, helped me move forward in my life in a way that was different from a lot of people that I knew growing up, right? And so I think that is something that it was instilled in me and my siblings. But I look at my 16-year-old niece today and I'm like, she probably has never had a Barbie. Like, the closest she's probably come to Barbie is seeing like the collectibles my mom has, like she'll pull out around Christmas time in those big Christmas ball gowns, right? Like, that's about it. Because my 16-year-old niece doesn't need that right now. Like, she knows through the strong women who are helping to raise her and the family around her that she can do anything. So absolutely, I think it had a huge impact for me and other girls growing up in the 90s. But today, I'm sure the kids are like, we're good. We don't need that. And so I'll be interested to see once the movie, you know, gets ticket sales and numbers in, like, what are the demographics going to see this? Is it just for, you know, 30 somethings, 40 somethings who are feeling nostalgic? Or is this like the young people, Gen Z and younger, are actually engaging?
I can tell you that the group I'm going to see Barbie with on Monday, we represent all of the Gen Z, Gen X, got some boomers.
Bless.
Yes, it is is intergenerational.
Yes, I'm into it.
Well, so Juanita, you mentioned that you're not sure what role Barbie has now. You know, because back in the day, Barbie showed little girls like, yeah, you can be a you know, hula girl astronaut, president of the United States, journalist, veterinarian, whatever, you know. What role could Barbie play to be relevant today? Like, what would she have to do in order to be pushing things forward?
I feel like something around just basic identity, whether that's gender identity or multi-ethnic identity, is key here. Like, bring me a non-binary doll. Like, let me see what that looks like, because I feel like that is something that younger people who are exploring their sexuality or transitioning or as trans individuals could find value in, right? Like, what is the value proposition today? What is that new thing that you're showing is safe to imagine? Because that's the premise here, right? It's safe to imagine being an astronaut if you're a kid in the 80s or 90s, right? So what is the new thing that we're introducing that it's safe to be? And looking, let's be real, across this country, the attacks on LGBTQ individuals, that could be a clear lane that a company like Mattel steps into in terms of teaching some type of affirming framework through the reimagining of Barbie.
Mm-hmm. And I think also, you know, a lot of kids, especially when they're little, if they're growing up in maybe more conservative environments, they are not necessarily exposed to people who are non-binary or LGBTQ. So even if these kids are going to grow up, you know, cis, straight kids getting married, I feel like having a non-binary doll or a doll that exposes them to a different type of gender expression will prepare them to like live in reality. Like, this is reality. You're going to be around these people. Like, you know, even if you are not a member of these groups, you're going to be around people who are different from you. And that's fine. And you can play with them just like your dolls all play with each other. Like, that's fine.
That's why I was down with your little sister liking all the black dolls. Like, come on, you know, like, I'm sure there was limited exposure in Wisconsin where you grew. So it's like, okay, yes.
Yeah. Well, now she's an ESL teacher, and she teaches like mostly kids that are refugee children who are middle schoolers. So she's like really, in her career, she's like gone out of her way to help people who come from a different background. So that's cool. I mean, who's to say? Is there a black Barbie to helping refugee kids pipeline? I hope so, because that'd be cool.
Make it.
Let's see abortion provider Barbie.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Under the same frame. Yes.
Yeah.
Is she going to have a little telemedicine computer and like 2 pills that are like safer than
She
aspirin?
does. She
on
also
the side?
only travels with lawyer Barbie.
Come on. Right.
Lawyer Barbie and possibly bodyguard Barbie.
Bodyguard. Yeah, exactly.
Juanita, when are you going to see the movie?
So my plan is to see the movie this weekend. And I live in the DMV area, so I'll probably go to one of the theaters with reclining seats and adult beverages.
Oh, you got to. There's an Alamo Draft House in LA, which is like they serve you food.
I love an Alamo.
I love this.
Yeah.
What?
And so if I'm going to go see a movie, first of all, it's like hard because I've got a little kid. We don't have any family around to just be like, hey, grandma, you want to take the kid or whatever. So I am going to go solo just to have alone time. That is like just at a premium when you have a child. Nobody trying to talk to me. Just my dream. It's like the sweetest sound in the world is my little girl going, mama, 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 mama. That's sweet, but also the most annoying sound in the world.
It's giving
after it's been going on
Stewie,
for 12 hours.
mom, mommy, mother, mom.
That's real. So I'm going to go to Alamo Draft House and see it. And when I went to buy a ticket, I was like, I'm just going to buy a single ticket. At some point over the weekend should be easy peasy. I can get a good seat. Single ticket, right? Almost like half of them were sold out. And the ones that weren't sold out only had like a couple seats in the very front row.
So your head's
I'm gonna be
like
sitting,
this?
I know. I'm going to be seeing Barbie's boobs huger than anybody has ever seen Barbie's boobs. And I'm glad that I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with my own body, that I don't have to be like Margot Robbie, just that huge on screen in front of me and that perfect and that entire cast of just beautiful, perfect people. I'm hoping that my self-esteem can withstand it, but adult beverages will help.